afternoon, evening, everyone, and welcome to my live call tonight. I am super excited that you are here with me and that you are taking time out of your schedule to learn about what it means to be a blessing toward others. How can you bless others? And this is a topic that will greatly enhance your life, enhance your family. It will greatly improve all areas of life if you were to practice these things that I'm about to share with you. Because when we practice uh, having the culture of blessing, then our life begins to have a upward tick in the kind of success that we have, the kind of relationships that we have, and the kind of positive outcomes that our children have as well. So even those around us. So when we learn about these things and put these things into practice, then there are things that can begin to happen as well. For example, healing. If you had a bad relationship with a relative, you could certainly that could certainly be mended in this way. And there's so many great things about being and having the culture of blessing within us. So if you're joining the call, I want to say welcome to the call. If just you can say hi, and I will be more than willing and happy to give you a hi back. If you have a comment during this time, I would do my best to look at it and comment on it during the call. But if not, all of that would be done at the end of the call or after the call. I would certainly answer your questions and acknowledge you for sure. And also, if you find this to be of great help to you, then most definitely share. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Chad Allen. I am 41 years old. I have a daughter and a beautiful wife. I lived in the Philippines for 2.5 years where I gained my purpose in life. And I have really began to put into practice what I've learned there and also to begin my life as a and to really establish myself in business and also as a true father figure for my daughter and a husband toward my wife. So these are all things that I'm really passionate about and are very excited about. It is my mission to bring about the men of integrity and even the women of honor, and to also to bring about deaths for honor so that people can be helped through their shame and their issues in life. But I'm also passionate about business, and I love business, and I love being able to utilize my business as a tent making type opportunity to help support missions. And I'm really looking forward to um, being able to do more and more and more of that and support more and more as time goes on. So, tonight's subject, what are we talking about when we talk about being a blessing? How can we bless other people? And these are very important considerations when we are thinking about improving our relationships with other people and also improving the work environment within our businesses or within our missions or even within the family. This is something that can work in all areas of your life, regardless of where it's at and regardless of the type of situation that you are having. So you'll see great things come from this if you put it into practice and you maintain it. So people who have practiced this kind of what I'm about to share with you, within a short order of time, uh, if they did what's called the blessing circle, then it would really be maybe after 3 months, but you would really see big changes if you continue to put into practice these type of things. So what am I talking about? So first of all, before I get into the power of the blessing, I want to share with you why it is important to be a blessing, and the importance of who we are as a people and how we can greatly affect the next generation. See, in today's politics that we there's it's so divisive, right? And there's one having a certain opinion and another having a certain opinion, and they're always colliding with one another. And most we know that most politicians will always look to the next election. They're always looking for ways to gain your vote for the next election. Rarely and hardly ever would they ever look to the next generation. A true statesman will always look to the next generation, right? So the same concept that we have to have, if we wanted to elect someone who's like a statesman, we need to we have to employ that within our families and workplaces as well. We have to be willing and wanting to look toward the next generation and not uh, to the immediate future or the immediate tomorrow or the here and now, because if we know that what we are doing today and what we are doing, the decisions that we're making and how we are affecting other people now, we if we know that it will greatly affect the generation to come, then we will always live for the next generation, because living for the next generation ensures that their success, their life is more uh, happy and successful. So as fathers, and me being a father, of course, of my daughter, uh, it's really a great responsibility of the father to really uh, be the kind of person that can be followed, the one who is setting the example of being that blessing. Now, if you're a single parent, a single mom, then that falls on you. So you really have to uh, take that responsibility, because it's important. It's important. You don't want the future to be null and negative and with no hope, right? You want to make sure you want to fight for a future for your kids to be in an environment that will be positive and will be gives them great opportunity to really uh, have an opportunity for great success. And so, hi Jennifer, yeah, take care of that baby. It's awesome. I'm really glad that you are doing that. And so, but as fathers, we have a great responsibility. And if you look throughout the Word of God, you would really see how God really places the responsibility of the family on the man, and you will see how God uses like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Jesus. He uses these men to be the kind of men that you'll see them being strong in their faith. You'll see them being strong in how they uh, stand firm. You'll see how they go against the grain, so to speak, the public views, the one that are wants to be like they politically incorrect, but they stay firm to what they believe. They have conviction, and you will also see them. And it started with the father first, right? How he blessed Abraham. You will be a great nation. You will be this. I bless you with this, And then Abraham to his children, Isaac to his children, Jacob to his children, and it keeps going on down the line like that, right? So, as fathers, we are the molders of the next generation. When there is fatherlessness that takes place in the home, whether it's emotional fatherlessness or physical fatherlessness, it greatly affects the outcome of the family, and it greatly affects the future of our children. And you will see this, especially when in broken homes. You know, you really start seeing the effects of it. It that immediate the kids, and then on down the line, and then so 4 generations. You know, God says you'll be affected for 4 generations. You know, so it's we have to really maintain our responsibility as parents, for sure. You know, for our kids. And you know, it's funny. Like I don't remember exactly where in the Bible, but it says God will come back in the 4th generation to see how everything is going. And so, you know, we have an opportunity to change the trajectory of our nation, of our children, and etc. Of our own success. What do I mean by that? Imagine in a complete broken home where the parents pay no attention to their kids, right? Where the father is completely absent, or the single mother is, or single father for that matter, is uh, also absent in that area. Well, what happens is there is no direction, right? And there tends to be a bit of animosity that begins to take place within our kids. There begins to be more depression and other kinds of problems that start coming in. And oftentimes the kids will begin to retaliate in such a way because they're looking for that attention. So we have to be very, very careful in uh, how we show and protect, and how we raise up our kids and their identity, because their identity is very important. And there's a study that was done, and I will share it here shortly, where it talks about it's a study between a family that was uh, that the father was being a cursing to his family, and another one was being a blessing. And in that you will see two very big differences in directions of each family, and what happens when one is a blessing and one is a curse. So what do I mean by being a blessing and by being a curse? Well, being a blessing is those things that is affirming toward the other person. It's being able to share and give a positive identity to those around us and to our kids. Being our cursing is those in words and in actions we are telling our the people that we love, or our children, that they are no good, that they are this, that they are that. We begin to say you are this, you are that, you are this, and it begins to attack their identity, instead of uh, telling the person by saying, the behavior that you have, your behavior is not appropriate. I love you, you are this or you are that. It's a big difference in how you word things. If you are attacking the identity of the person, then you start cursing them, right? When you are only attacking the behavior and not the person themselves, that their identity is able to be kept strong with them. So, but you're letting them know, oh, your behavior is not good, but you're not destroying their identity while doing that. So there are a couple things that comes with being a blessing, and as fathers, we have a very strong role in this area, And I will show you how, and I'll show you why. If you're a single mom, the same thing applies to you, by the way. So, okay. So, we have to be able to, whether you're in business or whatever, wherever you are, we have to be able to affirm uh, others. So, we have to, as you know, when we are as fathers or even as mothers, we have to be willing to affirm, and we can practice affirmation. You know, we can do it without accusing someone. We do it without self justification. You know, it's like, yeah, but, so you have to, when you affirm, it needs to be sincere and true. Imagine for a moment if you were to uh, say, I really appreciate you doing this, but but you are really this. That's not really being sincere and true in your affirmation. So we have to be affirm. And when it comes to a father's blessing to his children, we have to be able to, uh, as fathers, when we impart blessing, it needs to be really true, right? So a couple things here. How to be a blessing? You affirm. If you really see a potential in somebody and or your children, you see something like a gift that they are having, like that it's creative. You don't try to shut it down. You don't try to shut it out if you don't like it. You would encourage it more, right? So, or if your children comes up to you or somebody or your coworker or whatever comes up to you, I would really like to be this. Instead of saying something negative, you would say, I bless you with this. I bless you with this. I impart this to you, and you do it in the name of Jesus. So these are things that you can really do. Uh, those who practice the blessing circle, the blessing circle is very important because when you get into this area, you're practicing what it is, right? So, for example, in the blessing circle, you say everybody lines up, okay? So you go from in the family. Only going to give the example of the family. In business, it's the same concept, but maybe a little bit different. But I think with the managers, it's still the same. So fathers will always go last when it comes to the blessing circle. They're the last to affirm because they have the most important job of everyone. The mother will be second to last, unless she's a single mom, then she will take the place of the father, and then your kids, so youngest to oldest. So the blessing circle will begin with the youngest person first, and they will say a word of affirmation to them. So they would say, I affirm you for this. So when they affirm, it's just one affirmation. When they affirm, they will not they will not have self justification. They will not they will not have buts. They will not try to correct. They will not reprimand. They will, if they make an apology, they do it without self justification and without accusations. So it's you have to be able to. Each person will do these things. So the youngest one will start, and then we'll go to the next oldest. So you say, young will say, I affirm you for this brother. I affirm you for this sister. I affirm you for this mother. I affirm you for this father. And then the next one would be the brother. Little one, I affirm you for this. Sister, I affirm you for this. Mother, I affirm you for this, and so on, right? So, and it goes from the youngest to oldest like that. When it gets to the father, because the father has the most important part, right? So when it gets to the father will not only say an affirmation to each one, he will also bless each one and pray for each one, right? So the father is the most important because that's where God comes through and really impart. You will be amazed when a father imparts or even a mother imparts gifts to their children. You'd really be surprised when you begin to see those things take hold. They may not take hold like the very same day or the next day. It might be a couple years down the road. But when you impart a gift to somebody, you are imposing a type of belief system in them that you know that they will do that. Plus, when you are imparting, you are calling on God to release that gift to that person. And that gift goes through. So when a father blesses their children and their wives or whatever, that God sees that as a way to because he knows that okay, the father is coming through, so I will bless. So you'll be really surprised. You should really try it. Um, so the father affirms, blesses, okay, and then prays for everyone. So that's how you do it. And then each day, it's really the father's responsibility each day also, or single mother, to daily impart. So I bless you with this, and you will have this, and this, and that's what we should be doing, uh, and we do it quite often here. We don't do it every single day, but we do it very very often, where we would bless each other, and we would do a, a blessing circle as well. So we have found that when we did this, that I don't remember ever having, I don't ever remember ever having an argument that is, yeah, I don't even remember having an argument, because we are so used to blessing one another and so used to affirming one another, that it allows us to see the positive and look past the offenses of others. So that is the blessing circle. Uh, oh, you should do it at least once a week, at least once a week, and there should be no copy and paste affirmations from the previous blessing circle. So if you do it at least once a week and you did it in that manner, if you say you're having a lot of issues, like a lot of fighting within the family, I'm willing to bet that if you did that within 3 months, there would be no more fighting, or the fighting would be greatly minimized so much that there's a lot more happiness taking place. The same thing with husbands and wives. If you really practice the affirmation and really practice the blessing and impartation for one another, you would really see a big difference in your relationship toward one another. So, uh, the study. Why is it important for a father to be to impart blessing, to affirm, to uh, really have that kind of culture? I will share with you the study. Okay, this is a study by a sociologist by Richard Dugdale. Dugdale. Okay, so you can look this up. And so he traced the known descendants of Max Jukes, I'm sorry, and from since the early 1700s and onward. And then Jukes' life was one of the worst case scenarios one can ever encounter. So he was an atheist, he was an alcoholic who could not hold a job, and he married a prostitute. So imagine he wanted to know the Dougal. I'm sorry. Dugdale wanted to know what the impact was of this man on his future generations. So he studied this. So this is a guy who was being a cursing to his family. Okay. Now, out of the 903 descendants traits of the Max Jukes family tree, okay, of the family that he from him onward down. So these are generations that are affected also. Okay, so how many of these were delinquents who never finished school and died in poverty? 310. Okay, out of 903, 300 there are 310 delinquents who never finished school and died in poverty. 145 of them were confirmed drunkards. 190 of them were public prostitutes. 285 of them had sexually transmitted disease. 150 of them spent an average of 13 years in prison, and 7 of them were convicted murderers. So the effects of being a cursing to your family and toward others, you would see in generations to follow how negatively it affects the those generations. And when we are people that are always thinking of ourselves and wanting the here and now, typically, and we are saying not so great things to our kids, or we're being drunkards, or we are doing uh, things that we should not be doing. This is a negative effect that can really take hold. This is why we really need to change who we are as people, so that we could be positively affecting the future generations. Now, here's the opposite side. Okay, so Doug Dale did the exact same thing, and he wanted to see what it would be like to follow someone who had that culture of blessing. Okay, so he followed a man. Let's see, I'm getting back. Man, I'm reading, by the way, just so you know. But I know the story, but I'm trying to remember who it was. Okay, so he followed the lineage of Jonathan Edwards, and he followed his line. And Jonathan Edwards was a guy who was, uh, he was positive, with his family. He did everything that he's supposed to do. He was not a drunkard. He did what he said. He was a man of great conviction. Those kind of things. Nobody's perfect. It's what it is. It's you're always striving to be excellent, have excellence, right? So we're always learning how to be better. So this guy, uh, he was the first president of Princeton University. So here's a guy that knew how to achieve, right? And he did what he was did what he did. So because of this, a guy who was a blessing toward his family. This is the lineage of his descendants. Okay, he Dugdale surveyed 1,394 descendants of Jonathan Edwards. Okay, 13 of them were college presidents. 65 were college professors. 100 were lawyers. 30 were judges. 60 were prominent authors. 75 of them were Army and Navy officers. 100 of them were pastors. 60 of them were physicians. 3 of them were United States senators. 80 of them were public servants and other capacities, including governors and ministers to foreign countries. And one was Vice President of the United States, Aaron Burr. So you can see the effects of the differences between in having a culture of blessing versus having a culture of cursing. And you as an individual, you as a parent or a business owner, you hold the key to your success and those around you's successes as well. So remember that when you uh, think about acting or speaking in a certain way or acting in a certain way, remember this key study because it would really help you uh, to understand the differences. When we begin to say something to the effect of, you're so stupid, or you're so dumb, or you're so this and that. We need to remember those are cursing an identity. And when we do that, that person's identity continues to be uh, destroyed because of that. They begin to believe stuff like that. Oh, I am stupid. Oh, I am dumb. Oh, I am a nobody, right? But when we began to say, no, you are beautiful, you are amazing, you are a gift, you are so loved, um, you will become a senator one day. You will become a great painter. Whatever you want to be, you will become great at. It's those kind of things those are the kind of words and the kind of things when we put those things in actions, and we focus, especially with our kids, when we focus on their strong points and we really bless it and we really help them through it. you know those are the things that you would see the positive things happen, like the family lineage of Jonathan Edwards. But if we don't practice those things, we see the opposite, right, of the Max Jukes. So I encourage you to practice the culture of blessing. Fathers, I encourage you to be the father that God is calling you to be the one who is first to practice blessing, the one who imparts, the one who really takes charge spiritually, so that you would be blessed, and so that your family would be blessed as well. And if you're a single mom, I encourage you to do the exact same thing because you will be blessed with that as well. So if you really want to be a blessing toward other people, then these are the things that you really need to do. There's so much more, by the way, that I can discuss with you about this whole issue, but it would take hours and hours and hours to go through the whole thing. So we just have to save it for another day. But this would just get you going in the direction that you should go, and get back with me. Let me know how it went. If you practiced the culture of blessing, if you began to uh, impart blessing toward your kids or toward others, to your coworkers or to your teammates, whatever they are. Let me know and see how it began to affect them and how it affected you as well. So just comment below because I know that you will. I really look forward to hearing about it and how you help change your life. You can also, if this really helped you, uh, share it with other people because I know it will help other people as well. And if you want to know more of what I do in my business, message me as well, and I will share it with you. If if you want to go to my blog, you can go to my blog at chadallen.pro as well. And I have all of my live videos on there. So you can check it out there, and I think you will find a great benefit there as well. And if you have if you want to ask me any question, feel free as well. So I want to thank you so much for being on the live call tonight. I am so blessed and so honored that you took your time to be with me. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I think tomorrow what we'll do is we'll have a fun Friday. Yeah, I didn't do it last week because I wanted to finish the leadership topic. So, but tomorrow we'll have a fun Friday, and I'll bring in If my wife wants, I'll bring in my wife. If my daughter wants, I will bring in my daughter as well, and we could just have some fun and enjoy each other. And we just maybe we'll be able to ask different questions about various things. So also, this is a great time for you to ask questions. Also, if you want a question answered. So anyway, I thank you so much for being on the call. Virtual, also, thank you, Ricky. Thank you for being on the call tonight with me as well. I really, really appreciate it. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Okay, take care.